Real change doesn't just happen in boardrooms or at the ballot box. It happens when people roll up their sleeves and get involved right where they are. Hello, and welcome to the Main Health Show. I'm your host, Stephanie Anderson. Community isn't just where we live. It's what we build together. And our guest today is a true civic innovator who's proving that community action isn't just powerful, it's contagious. In the corridors of a Texas prison, a young 18-year-old began a journey that would shape his life's mission. Fresh out of high school, Durrel's first job as a prison guard exposed him to stories of injustice and human struggle that ignited a passion for advocacy that burns to this day. This pivotal experience launched a career spanning over 2 decades, marked by an unwavering commitment to social justice and community empowerment. In 2014, Durrel's vision for community-led change crystallized with the co-founding of Houston Justice. As its executive director, he has pioneered initiatives that go to the heart of civic engagement and social equity. Project Orange, one of the organization's flagship programs, embodied Durrel's belief in second chances and the power of the vote, working to enfranchise eligible incarcerated individuals and give them a voice in the democratic process. As Durrel continues to write his story, one thing is clear: his journey is far from over. With each new role and initiative, he continues to push the boundaries of what it means to be a community leader in the 21st century, inspiring others to join him in the ongoing fight for justice, equality, and opportunity for all. Welcome, Durrel, to the Main Health Show.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for that introduction.
I had to have something special for you. I appreciate the fact that you made this trip, all the way from Houston.
Yes.
That means so much. And thank you for accepting the invitation, but I really knew that the Main Health viewers would really be impacted by your story.
I hope so.
I know they will. So let's get started because we only got a few minutes. You describe yourself as a civic innovator.
Yes.
What everyday injustice or challenge lit a fire for you to step into that space?
Becoming a civic innovator?
Yes.
So, interesting part of my bio that wasn't in there, I was actually expelled in the 11th grade.
No.
Yeah, I was expelled in the 11th grade, and so I ended up being sent to my home school, the school I was zoned to.
Okay.
And it was, how sometimes God moves in mysterious ways. Mm-hmm. I was supposed to leave the school of 600 students where everybody, had to take a test to get in, to be sent to my neighborhood school so that I could see how my colleagues, my neighbors, were being treated at school.
Okay.
And Westbury High School was like Cooley High. Okay. Uh-huh. It was 3,000 students, and there was probably the first week or so, they had what is it called when all the students go to the auditorium? An assembly. There we go.
Okay.
There was an assembly, and, the assistant principal explained that, half of the seniors weren't going to graduate because they hadn't passed the test. They had just started STAR. I'm telling my age. I'm 39. So that was the first year that if you didn't pass STAR, you didn't get to graduate. Ooh. Long story short, I wrote a letter to the principal. Mm-hmm. I went to his secretary and tried to get on the calendar. See, that's how they did it at the other schools. You could do that.
Yeah. Not at Cooley High.
You could do that at Cooley High. The secretary, looked at me and was like, who is he trying to do that? And so that's what lit the fire, because the principal initially ignored me. Mm. And then I went back to try to, maybe he didn't get on his calendar or something. And so I made a copy of that letter and I put it in all the, the teachers' boxes in the main office. And
Wow.
That started it all because the superintendent at the time somehow got a copy. I'm pretty sure it was Mr. Schetzer, my government teacher.
Okay.
But that's what started it.
Yes.
That's what lit the fire. There was something there that needed to be done.
Mm-hmm.
I had some recommendations being in it as a student.
Yes.
And so, hey, I have some ideas, and I just felt that my voice should be heard.
Yes.
And so since then, that's what lit the fire.
Wow. That is amazing. Such a, at such a young age. And it's funny because God works in mysterious ways.
Absolutely.
And the fact that you got expelled.
Right,
And
right.
But it gave you an opportunity to see how other people were being
Absolutely.
treated. And not everything is about us.
Right.
But it was an opportunity for you to help your peers.
Absolutely. Because, I'm a senior. I'm taking like English, art, band. I'm done.
Yeah.
But I'm looking at these freshmen
Who needed
who
academics.
Need academics. Who
Yeah.
the way that we were transitioning classes didn't make sense.
Yeah.
The way that you would get written up for being late. Well, the school stretched a whole block.
Yeah.
There were little things that I wanted to be an advocate.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
That's where it started.
Yeah.
Wow. Whew. I want to talk about your civic work.
Yes.
You've done a lot. And in the introduction, I read about Project Orange.
Project Orange.
Talk to me about that.
So Project Orange is the very first jail-based voting initiative in
Okay.
the state of Texas. And so, as you mentioned, my first job out of high school was working for the prison system.
Okay.
And there's a fact that 75% of those that are behind bars are actually like pretrial. So this means they haven't been convicted of a crime.
Okay.
They're just there because they can't afford to bond out.
Yeah.
And this is the same in Bexar County, Harris County, Travis County. You insert large metropolitan area
It's
here.
systemic.
It's systemic.
Yeah.
And so I just had a question. I was like, well, how do they vote? Because technically, if you're in jail and you haven't been convicted of a crime, or if you're in jail because you were sentenced to a misdemeanor, you should be able to vote.
Yeah.
So I reached out and I just wanted to know, what does that mechanism look like? More so out of curiosity.
Yes.
Because I'm thinking like, who goes in and
It just
registers
don't make
them?
sense.
Yeah, it doesn't
Yeah.
make sense.
Yeah.
And, one of my contacts got back with me and said, we don't have a system. I said, wow. So I sat down, put my thinking cap on, put my prison guard cap and my civic innovator cap, and I said, how can we make these two things work?
Yes.
I know what voter registration looks like. I also know what it looks like behind bars.
Yes.
How can we put something together and make it work? And next thing you know, the sheriff in Harris County, Ed Gonzalez,
Okay.
invited us for a meeting and went down the list. I wrote it security minded. So like I know what his issues would be or what his concerns would be. And next thing you know, we're registering voters, and we actually have a polling place inside the Harris County Jail for those who are in jail
Wow.
to be able to vote.
All that from a question. This
question.
doesn't make sense. How do they do that?
Yeah.
And it's been going on for so long, but it just took someone
Yeah.
who asked the question
Yeah.
and had enough nerve, thank goodness,
Yes.
to start asking it to people who could do something about it.
Absolutely.
Because a lot of times people behind bars, whether they're guilty, innocent, or whatever, and they're just waiting,
Mm-hmm.
don't have the power
Absolutely.
to be able to make that change.
Absolutely. And I would actually argue, so I think the way you treat someone is the way that they respond.
Yes.
So when I worked in the prison, I treated the men there like human beings.
Yes.
And so they responded like human beings.
Yes.
When I first started, I was 18, I would say, yes, sir, no, sir. And they would be like, you can't do that. But why not?
Why not?
Because when I say yes, sir,
That-
he's now sitting up a little straighter.
Yes. Yes.
And
You're acknowledging
you're
him
acknowledging him
as a
in
human
his
being.
humanity. And
Yeah.
also, when people would get registered to vote, oftentimes for the first time, you can see a smile on their face.
Yeah.
Because in a situation where there's been nothing but bad news, now here's a actual concrete
Yes.
something that I can do, a quantitative thing to be able to do that's a step in the right direction. And it's the hope that that first step
Wow.
becomes the first in a series of steps.
Wow. I love that. Whew.
Yeah.
You something else. But the mere fact that a lot of people see things but they figure they can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
And grassroots efforts just come from, okay, nobody else has done it.
Let's just do it.
Let's just do it.
Let's just do it. You'd be surprised the issues in your neighborhood, at your child's or grandchild's school, you know, all of these issues, if you see it, it's a reason why God gave it to you to see.
Yes.
Because he knew if he put you in this situation, you would be the one to do something about it.
Yes.
And a lot of times when we're put in very stressful situations, when we're thrown that curveball,
Yes.
it is an assignment. But if we're obedient, there's also a reward that comes
Yeah.
with it too.
Yeah.
It's often preparation.
Yeah. Yeah. Whew. Okay, so I want to talk about
Yes.
Houston Justice.
Yes.
Tell me about what it is, tell the audience
Okay.
what it is, and tell me how you came about that.
Absolutely. That's another story.
Talk to me.
So after working at the prison, I ended up quitting after 5 years as a lieutenant. And I went to I worked at the state capitol for State Representative Dr. Alma Allen, who is, she was vice chair of the corrections committee. Didn't even know that.
Okay.
Didn't even know that me leaving, being obedient, I would end up working at the capitol. And wow,
Yeah. The connection.
Right. So fast forward in 2014, before George Floyd, there was Mike Brown.
Yes.
And before there was George Floyd, there was Ferguson.
Yes.
And so, after working at the Capitol, I worked at different organizations, different grassroots organizations. And so, me and my friends were kind of like in the know with what's going on. And when this happened, there was a rally scheduled at McGregor Park. And none of us knew who it was. It's almost like if there's something scheduled, at the station, it's either you or this person or this person, right? One of y'all did it, right?
Yeah.
And none of us knew. It was like, oh, you didn't do it? I didn't do it? Well, someone had scheduled this thing, and this rally turned into a march. I'll never forget, I was wearing some Timberland boots. No socks because it was laundry week. It was laundry day. I mean, I was
going walk in some Timberlands.
But it was just supposed to be a rally.
Yeah.
I was just supposed to go.
Yeah. Just be present.
Fight the power,
Yeah.
right? Organize and then go home. Well, someone in the crowd said, we need to take to the streets.
Okay.
And there was a decision there. I could say, wait, everybody, I know it looks one way on TV, but in actuality, these things are very orchestrated, right? And we wanted, when you do something like that, you want it to be safe, you want it to be planned.
It's permitted and all that kind of stuff. Oh, yeah.
Or B, I could go with them and use my wisdom to help steer it.
Yes.
And so that's what I did.
Important.
To help steer it. And in fact, there were people blowing their horns and this and that. And I'll never forget. And every time I usually tell this part, I kind of tear up a little bit, but I won't this time.
Okay.
There was a guy. There was a lady blowing her horn, and there was a guy younger than me. He had to be like, I don't know, if I was 28 at the time, he had to be, let's just say, 17, 18.
Okay.
And he drew his fist back to hit the lady's window, and I grabbed him.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I looked him in the face, and I said, you can't do that.
No.
Because when you do that, all of us did it.
It affects all of us.
All of us did it.
Yes.
And I looked him right in the eye, and he just he was tensed up. He kind of calmed down. And that's one of those lion share moments for me. And so next thing you know, I mean, it was a while. And along the way, it's growing bigger and bigger and bigger. And so at the end of the night, myself, some friends met up at my one-bedroom apartment in 2014, and we started laying out the outline of what an organization could look like. Ooh. We called it Houston Justice because that was the domain that was available.
Wow.
We literally were like, well, how about this? Well, how about that? And we literally built it while we were flying it. A lot of times we think we have to have the whole plan and the business plan and the focus group and the board of directors. No, start where you are with who you have, and just build it as you go. And some, more than 10 years later, we're still doing work in preparing the next generation and the current generation of civic innovators.
We're taught a lot of times, just like you said. You know, you have to have this plan, make
You do
sure
not.
but you know what? Sometimes it's about just having a passion
Absolutely.
and being like Nike, just do it.
Just do it.
Just do it
Yeah.
because it needs to be done. And sometimes if you think ahead too much, you won't do anything.
You get analysis paralysis.
Yes, yes.
You know,
Yeah.
sometimes listen, listen. If you've read the book, if you've listened to the podcast, if you've made the phone calls,
Yeah.
this is your signal,
Yes,
right?
yeah.
On Main Health
Yeah.
to do the thing.
Yes, I love that. Call to action. Call to action. I love that. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Because sometimes people they'll look at you
Yeah.
and they'll think, oh, it's something about him different. Yeah,
It's
it is.
really not.
But we all
Yeah.
have 24 hours in a day, 7 days a week.
Yes.
And we all have a passion for something.
Mhm.
I look at things when it comes to hair, inventions, things that I did. I'm like, I wish I had it because I was doing that back in
Yeah. See?
But it just
Right.
takes somebody just to do it and
Yeah.
put it out there.
Right.
So you organizing and having a passion and a love for people,
Yes.
of community, because that's
Yes.
what it's about.
Absolutely.
The whole introduction was about what it is you do, and it's just not for yourself.
It's not.
It's for other people. But when other people, we take care of other people.
It's true.
We feel that, don't we?
We do.
We do.
Oh,
so,
we do.
So we only got 5 minutes left.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I want to talk about, because you're doing something else that's close to my heart.
Yes.
It's been on my bucket list. I'm just kind of coming out with it. You're an organizer for TEDx.
Yes.
And TEDx, as many people know, is a platform. You know, comes from the TED, but it's like local. Kind of talk about that and what it is that you are doing for TEDx Third Ward in
Yes.
Houston.
Yes. So I don't know what the equivalent of Third Ward would be here in San Antonio, but Third Ward is a historic black neighborhood in Houston. And initially, I also wanted to do a TED Talk. But again, I'm being obedient, right? So long story short, I end up in the process where I actually get the license to host the event. And what I love most about it, I think we all have ideas within us. We're all exposed to things, but sometimes you get put in the situation and you want to pivot out of it because it's uncomfortable.
Yes.
But it's only when you look back over your life, a lot of the times, it's those uncomfortable moments that you remember because they taught you something.
Yes.
You don't remember a lot of the easy times. You remember the uncomfortable ones.
Yeah.
And I just, it's been beautiful, yourself and the other semifinalists, to be able to hear their stories.
Oh my gosh, yes.
I mean, it is, when there's so much divisiveness elsewhere in our world right now, it is such a palate cleanser to see that there are people, there are good people out there. We gonna be all right.
We gonna be all right.
Because there's just so much beauty and there's beauty in the struggle.
Yes, there is.
There's beauty in the process. There's beauty in the journey. And I don't know, I just think if more of us I have this term that I call cross-pollination. It's like when people organically get to work together on things, when people organically get to know each other, you end up learning something about the other person. You end up eating new foods, having new experiences and having, a broader look at what the world looks like.
Yes.
In the hopes that with that, you can make it that much better.
Yes. It's been fascinating for me,
Yeah,
this whole
it
process.
has.
Because, there's so many people
Yes.
from diverse backgrounds,
Yes.
different
Yes.
places, but the ideas, the experiences they bring, no holds barred.
Yes. Yes.
I don't know who's going to make it to the stage, but it's going to be phenomenal. So kind of
Yes.
tell a little bit about, I know you had one, we got 3 minutes left. Tell a little bit about the first one, because last year was the
Yes,
first, and what you're
yes.
doing for 2026.
So we had TEDx Third Ward at Match Theater in Houston. It was a beautiful experience. I mentioned that it was a historically black neighborhood, and one of my colleagues who's white mentioned I shouldn't call it Third Ward because that would make him feel that he wasn't welcomed because we called it Third Ward. So I looked at him and I said, that's very interesting. I said, so if you feel that way when I call it Third Ward, how do you think I feel about everything that's not? Boom, right? So fast forward,
Yeah.
in Houston, there's a rapper. His name is Fat Pat.
Okay.
He's part of the. He I don't think Fat Pat is alive anymore, but
Okay.
that is like traditional Third Ward,
Okay.
like screwed and chopped music.
Okay. Okay.
So when thinking about the actual intro, I wanted to create this juxtaposition.
Mm-hmm.
So we had a string quartet playing Rachmaninoff and Beethoven and Chopin.
Yes.
Right? With everything going, and then all of a sudden the lights went down and they played that, and that's what I walked out to.
I love it.
Because
The culture.
because some people think that certain people listen to Chopin and Beethoven.
Yeah.
And some people think that other people only listen to Fat Pat. But I wanted to show
Eclectic.
that we're all of this.
Yes.
And all of it is art, all of it is beauty, and that is sort of the way that it went. So we had 16 speakers. It was, and you're getting a taste of it now, it's a real immersive experience.
It is.
When the folks came off the stage, we have to have a camera there this time because everyone came off like they had just ran a race.
Yeah.
People came off crying. Here was this thing, this idea. It is a certain, for those of you that don't know, TEDx is about ideas worth spreading,
Yes.
sparking curiosity.
Yes.
And so it's like, think about this thing that you're being vulnerable about.
Yes.
It's in your head,
Yeah.
and you're going to polish it, prune it, and prepare
Yes.
it, and present it
Yeah.
to the world.
Yeah.
And then for you to do so and it be welcomed. It's a beautiful experience. And I think I'm looking forward to doing more things like that.
Yeah.
And I'm just so grateful to you, not only for the experience of coming here to Bexar County, I used to call it Bexar County,
Bexar.
but also seeing like the amazing things that you are doing.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you so much. I want to take the opportunity before we go
Yes.
for you to give the date
Yes.
of TEDx Third
Yes.
Ward, and also how someone who may be interested, because you don't have to be in Houston to
Right.
apply. If you got an
Absolutely.
idea, it's too late now because the cutoff is
Yes.
for 2026, but there are going to
Right.
be subsequent ones.
Absolutely. So you can visit TEDxThirdWard.com.
Okay.
You can look me up on LinkedIn. I'm getting into LinkedIn. Let me tell you, LinkedIn is where it's at.
Yeah, it is. People don't sleep on LinkedIn.
Don't sleep on LinkedIn. Durrel K. Douglas on there. Durrel, 2 R's, 1 L. My mom was creative.
Okay, I like that.
I'm actually named after a Star Search contestant.
Okay.
And apply. Look at TEDx's.
Yeah.
Look at TED Talks. I usually fall asleep to them.
Not the ones that you've been showing us?
I'm saying like when I'm going to sleep.
Okay.
When I'm going to
okay.
sleep,
Okay.
I'll play a TEDx.
Okay.
You know, or I'll set up a playlist and then I'll set my timer to go off. But it's a beautiful opportunity to hear other people's ideas, to learn more about the world.
Yes.
And yeah, I'm actually going to TED Next in Atlanta.
Okay.
Next, they still have openings.
Okay.
And that's actually organized by TED
Okay.
itself. So
Okay.
yes, January 10th, 2026 at Match Theater in Houston in the theater district. It's a beautiful theater.
Okay.
And so, yeah.
All righty. Well, you've heard it there. We're going to go from this segment and we'll be back in a few minutes. Hi, I'm Stephanie Anderson, the Alopecia Advocate, speaker, author, and host of The Main Health Show. If you're living with alopecia, struggling with self-image, or simply yearning to feel seen, heard, and whole again, I wrote this book just for you. My newest book, 52-Week Daily Devotionals and Alopecia Affirmations, Cultivate Empowerment and Self-Love Every Day of the Year, is a transformational guide to help you reclaim your confidence, restore your faith, and rediscover your beauty inside and out. Each day delivers a heartfelt devotional rooted in spiritual truth, paired with a daily affirmation designed to uplift your spirit, challenge negative beliefs, and replace them with radical love for you. This isn't just a book. It's a healing companion, a daily practice, a declaration that you matter. Your reflection matters. Your journey matters. Get ready to walk in your worth, speak your life into your reflection, and start each day with divine confidence. It's time to love who you see in the mirror every single day. You're not alone in this journey. And this book, 52-week daily devotionals and alopecia affirmations, is your daily reminder that healing is possible and joy is your birthright. Let's walk in that together. And we're back with this new segment of the Main Health Show that I like to call the main question, Rooted in Awareness, where I have the opportunity to ask my guest sitting here, which happens to be Durrel Douglas, about alopecia. And so he selected a question about the stigma. So we're going to talk about breaking stigmas, Durrel. How can society better support people that are living with alopecia and hair loss? And what can you do in your profession to better make that happen?
Absolutely. You know, it's an interesting question. When I was first invited here, I reached out to one of my friends, Maisha, and we talked about the fact that, you know, there are a lot of things that we carry on our back. There was this big craze about, you know, plastic surgery recently. People are changing their faces, they're changing their bodies, they're going to Brazil.
Yeah.
And
Them BBLs.
right, those BBLs, they're going to get BBLs in Brazil. And it's like, a lot of that is to enhance, right? But I have cousins, my cousins from my Aunt Joanna, all of them went bald in their early 20s.
Yeah.
And I have friends who always wear a hat, right? And to the outsider, right, it's like, oh, it's no big deal. But just like so many other things, it is a big deal to that individual. I think back to elementary school where I didn't have a lunch number, okay? A lot of, if you got free lunch, you punch in the number. If you don't, right? And so there was a stigma about those who had free lunch numbers. But we're all getting the same food. We're all at the same level, right? So I think at the end of the day, creating spaces where we can better understand one another, creating spaces where a person leaves feeling more comfortable than they did when they came in, creating spaces where people feel comfortable to take their hat off. That is what I think we need to do as a community, and I think that in my work fits with the main question.
Wow, I love that.
Yeah, and I have some alopecia. If you zoom in a little, I don't remember which. I think it's this one. I have what they call a cowlick or something, and so there's one barber. If I go to my barber,
he knows how to line
he knows
you
how
up.
to do it. But if it's like it's late, you know,
you can't go to just anybody.
And then you know, but I can kind of hide it because I got this little fro thing going. But no, seriously,
in all seriousness,
it does. Does alopecia also impact like my beard?
It can.
Because right here, there's a look like I have a full beard. It's usually fuller.
Yeah.
But this last barber, you know. But there's like one spot right there.
Yeah.
And it's just such an interesting thing. And I think with what you do, like there are actually ways to reverse some
types.
Some types.
Because there's so many different types. But there are ways. But for those who it doesn't reverse, making sure that they feel confident.
Right.
And really so.
Right.
You've shared a lot.
Yeah. Because I mean, if you really think about it, I think I was part of the last generation that played outside. Like we didn't have these things.
Yeah.
So we were forced to interact with one another.
Yeah.
And you know, as time moves on, we've lost the ability to truly communicate.
That's it. That's true.
You know, and I think if we you have to work to create spaces that are comfortable. You have to work to create a space where people come in and they feel comfortable.
That's it.
You have to set the tone, and then I'll say
intentional.
It's intentional. It has to be intentional to where, you know, people feel comfortable. They feel seen, they feel heard, and they feel like they can take that hat off.
I love it. Woo. I love it. And thank you so much, Durrel. On that note, we're going to end this segment.
Yes.
And that's going to be all for this episode
Yes.
of the
yes.
Main Health Show. Again,
Yes.
Durrel, thank you for making the trip all the way from
Absolutely.
H-Town
Yes.
for my show.
Absolutely.
Until next time, this is Stephanie Anderson with the Main Health Show. Take care and be blessed. Bye-bye.